Welcome in, guys, to where I do my NFL Week 4 picks. Let's get into it because we're not far away from the Thursday night game starting. I'm recording this on Thursday night. So let's start it off. Thursday tonight we have the Cowboys on the road to the Giants. Giants had the Giants got a win last week. Cowboys, again, they had that great game against the Ravens last weekend, where the Ravens just stole it last minute to get the job done. Again, with the Cowboys, you know what you're gonna get with the Cowboys. Dak's a decent quarterback. He's a good starter, but he's not giving you a championship. Neither is Mike McCarthy. I know he won't. I know Mike McCarthy did win a championship in Green Bay, but that was 14, 15 years ago now. I think it's time to probably move Mike McCarthy and Dak on, but I'm going to go for the Cowboys -6. On to the early Sunday games. We have the 0-3, that's right, 0-3 Cincinnati Bengals on the road to the Panthers, who steamrolled a win last week. Bengals are 4.5 point favorites here on this one. I'm like, -4.5. I'm like, I'm going to take it because, again, I think the Bengals have to the Bengals have to win this game. They have to bounce back. They're 0-3. Joe Burrow signed that big contract last season. He was injured most of last season. A lot of pressure on Zac Taylor, rightfully so, especially from where they come the last couple of years. I'm going for the Bengals here, -4. Then we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who are on the road to the Buccaneers. Bucs going after defeat last week. Eagles, they won last week, so I'm going to go for the Eagles here, -2 to get the win. Then we have the Broncos on the road, Broncos are on the road to the Jets. Jets come off a great win on primetime last Thursday night. Aaron Rodgers coming back to his old self last week. I'm going to go for the Broncos here for the win. I just feel like, Bo McNix, he had an okay game last week. But I'm going to go for the Broncos here for the win. With a 7.5 win. Then we got the Vikings, who have been really impressive this year. I've been impressed with the Vikings this year. Really, you look at this year, especially after Kirk Cousins departed, you're thinking, what's going to really happen in Minnesota? J.J. McCarthy gets injured, and then the Vikings like, oh, we got Sam Darnold for a year. It's like, yeah, again, they're 3-0, the Vikings this year. Really good start to the season. And then you got the Packers, they're 1-2 as well this year. Also, you got to think that they had Jordan Love, who got injured in the Brazil game. In the last 2 games, Malik Willis has performed pretty well for them as a backup quarterback. But I'm going to go for the Vikings here, -2.5. Then we have the Rams and Bears football. That's right, bit of Bears football down in Chicago. Caleb Williams. Again, Caleb Williams wasn't his best game. It doesn't help that he has fucking Shane Waldron, Wandering Wald, or whatever they want to call this guy. Again, it's another typical quarterback in Chicago, where they get the quarterback and they have him with a shit offensive coordinator. Again, Caleb Williams could be the guy in Chicago, but he's not going to be the guy if Matt Eberflus is the head coach and he's calling random timeouts when you need to win the game, and you have fucking Shane Waldron, who came from Seattle, who was working with Geno Smith for 2 years, never got the job in Seattle after Pete Carroll left, and the only team that wanted him was Chicago. Like, that was a red flag. If nobody else wanted the offensive coordinator in the league, and the Bears like, come to us, like, yeah, we'll have we'll have Shane Waldron, see what he can do with our young quarterback. Yeah, I've gone for the Rams here -3. They can get the win on the road. It's going to be a win for the Rams. They had a really good game against the 49ers last week, so I think they're going to get a good road win this week. Then we have the Saints versus the Falcons. Both teams have been really impressive this year. The Falcons, they got a win against the Eagles a few weeks ago in prime time. Then the Saints, they've blown away the Cowboys. They've had other big wins. I'm going to go for the Saints here, plus the 2.5. Then we have the Steelers They made the Steelers, who are at the Colts. Again, the Colts, again, I'm a fan of Anthony Richardson. The Colts coming off a win last week against the Bears. Steelers, again, it's one of those games that, again, Mike Tomlin can choke in. A lot of these games where, the Colts are not really there yet. They haven't found their feet yet. But it's one of those games where you can, the Steelers have been pretty good. Justin Fields has done a decent job as being the starting quarterback. But I'm going to go for the Colts here, plus the 2. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are really got steamrolled this past Monday on prime time against the Bills. They're on the road to the Texans, who really need to bounce back, especially after last week's absolutely getting destroyed last week. The Texans have to bounce back from that defeat from the Vikings. Texans are at home for this one. I'm going to go for the Texans minus the 6.5, and that they're the early Sunday games. Late Sunday games, we have the Patriots against the 49ers. 49ers have to bounce back from that crushing defeat last week. Again, they did so well, and then in the fourth quarter, Stafford and Cole get their shit together, and ultimately, I'm going to go for the 49ers here minus 10.5 to get the win. Then we have the Commanders and the Cardinals. Cardinals have to bounce back from last week's defeat to the Detroit Lions. Commanders, they got a fantastic win on Monday night against Bengals on the road. That was a really good performance by Jaden Daniels. That was his best performance so far in the Commanders jersey. He was really good in that game. Just really good stuff going on with the Commanders. I'm gonna go with the Commanders here minus the 3.5. Then we have the skid marks, the Browns versus the Raiders. Raiders have, again, both. I'm gonna go for the Browns here minus the 2. Then we have the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are on the road to the Chargers. It's a division game. You got the Chiefs and the Chargers, a division game. I'm gonna go for the Chiefs here minus 7.5. Bit of kind of news injury wise. Justin Herbert hasn't trained much in practice, so he may not play for this. I don't know if he's gonna play on Sunday. He could play, but I don't know. But I just heard that like an hour ago. Like I saw on Twitter, he hasn't trained that much in the practice game. So I'm gonna go for Chiefs here minus 7. Then we have the primetime game on Sunday night. We have the Bills versus the Ravens. Now the Ravens come off a good win last week to get the first win of the year. The Bills steamrolled the Jags on primetime on Monday night. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I'm a fan of both of them, but I'm gonna go for the Bills here plus the 2, plus the 2.5. Then we have again. I said this last week. I don't want to bitch about it, but we have back-to-back Monday night games. We have the Titans going at the Dolphins, which we'll talk about in a minute, and we have the Seattle Seahawks on the road to the Lions. So I'm gonna go for the Dolphins had a shutout last week. They were really bad. Again, Tua was injured. He had his concussion, so he didn't play. But I'm gonna go for the Titans. I know the Titans are not the best right now, and they're still looking for the first win of the year. I'm gonna go for the Titans plus the 1. They're gonna fucking win this week, man. And we have Seattle, who again the Seahawks are the Seahawks 3-0 now. They're I think they're 3-0, 2-0, 3-0, whatever, like that. Again, I really like this appointment of Mike McDonald. I think Mike McDonald has been a great appointment for the Seattle Seahawks. But again, the Lions, coming off that win against the Cardinals last week, I'm gonna go for the Lions here plus the 3.5, and that they are my NFL Week 4 picks. If you wanna, again, guys, comment on your picks in the comments. I will have them in the description box like I do every week. And peace.